Josephine Mwende-Kamene is a woman of incredible resilience living with cerebral palsy, a condition that affects movement and muscle coordination. She faces daily challenges that many cannot even imagine.
I can say I'm lucky. I don't use any medication. Yeah, but I used to go to therapy. That is the only medication that I can say.
But for Mwende, these challenges are just part of her life story, a story that is unfolding not in the shadows, but in the light of determination. Since birth, she has developed independence and maneuvers through her daily activities effortlessly.
It's tricky because I believe that self-acceptance is the key. So if you have not really accepted who you are, how then will the society be able to associate with you? So first of all, personally, I accepted who I am, and that's how I showed the society how to also associate with me.
Cerebral palsy is caused by brain injury or abnormal brain development, often before or during birth.
A cerebral palsy that develops before or just at the time of birth. And so it's essentially a condition that you'd say someone was born with. And that is opposed to an acquired cerebral palsy, which is an injury or insult to the brain that will happen 28 days and beyond after the time of delivery. Now, congenital cerebral palsy will and can affect intellectual abilities because, as we said earlier, you have the motor issues, movement problems, but you can also have learning disabilities, that is problems with focus, with attention, with the learning, with memory. You can also have impairments in vision, in hearing, and particularly with speech as well. And so those are some of the effects that can occur with a congenital cerebral palsy.
This condition affects millions globally, but its impact is often underestimated.
When what part of the brain is affected, then you can have effects on the body. Now, because the brain is kind of the control center and manages and controls what happens in the rest of the body, depending on the part of the brain that's affected, you'll have motor difficulties as one of the primary effects of cerebral palsy. So either you have patients who become very rigid or stiff, and we call that spastic cerebral palsy, or they can have abnormal movements, and we call that dyskinetic cerebral palsy. They may have difficulties with balance and coordination, we call that ataxic cerebral palsy, or they can have a mix of those features, and that's a mixed pattern of cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy, a condition that causes lifelong disabilities, has a prevalence rate of about 1 in 1,000 children born worldwide. The causes are varied. Some cases arise from complications during pregnancy, while others result from a lack of oxygen during birth or brain injuries in the first months of life. In some cases, however, the cause remains unknown.
In general, for babies with cerebral palsy, the earlier we start, the better. So physiotherapy helps you improve the motor function, the movement, helps prevent stiffening of the joints. It helps to improve the functional capacity and the quality of life and even the life expectancy of these children. There is also a role for speech therapy for those who have challenges with speech. There's a role for occupational therapy in helping these children learn how to cope with the activities of daily living, learn how to communicate better, how to fit better and be more functional within society.
In Kenya, like many other places, those living with cerebral palsy face not only the physical challenges but also social stigma. People with disabilities are often excluded from society's everyday interactions.
There's a wide variety of presentations. You have people who have CP who might only have a slightly awkward gait. And apart from that, they're functioning at a high level intellectually, they're functioning at a high level socially. And with such individuals, their sexual and reproductive life wouldn't differ significantly from other members in the population. On the other end of the spectrum, there are those who have significant physical disabilities and potentially also intellectual disabilities that can interfere with issues like consent when you come in the context of reproductive rights and reproductive activities.
Women living with the conditions are hit by the challenges twice, especially during pregnancy.
Access to sexual reproductive tablets, it is like a nightmare because you see, as we said, as we started, this condition has a lot of myths and misconceptions. So you must go to a health facility, maybe you're pregnant or you need contraceptives. But people tend to think, hey, even you, why do you need this as a such contraceptive? Yeah. They forget that you are a human being.
It is not easier during delivery either. Mwende was turned away severally before the final hospital took her in and she was breathing in labor pains.
I was not received in a good way because I remember very well she was back in 2017, March. And we went to really different hospitals and they could not accommodate me just because of my condition. So I think after going to really different hospitals, when we went to the large hospital is when I was accepted and admitted. Because I remember the second hospital we went to, we found this female nurse. I remember that female nurse, upon just seeing me, she told us, we don't handle such a people, so we had to leave.
While Mwende is just one voice, her story is echoed by many others. According to a recent report by the Power Coalition Advocacy Group, 68% of women with disabilities experience abuse during childbirth, and 9% of these cases lead to the death of a child. Meanwhile, 13% suffer long-term health complications.
Access to sexual reproductive tablets of transport. They know very well the purpose of the condom. Yes, they go ahead and ask you, so why do you need use contraceptive? Or maybe they don't believe in you. They ask you, can you bring your caregiver or maybe your boyfriend or your parent? It's like that belief you are seen like a child, yet you are grown up. They don't think that you can make your own wise decisions.
Eunice Omolo, K24 TV, Nairobi.